Let's dive into a startling fact. 92% of New Year's resolutions fail. Every year, millions attempt change through sheer force of will, and every year, the vast majority collapse back into old patterns. This isn't a reflection of human weakness, it's evidence of a fundamental misunderstanding about how transformation actually works. Welcome to a different perspective on personal development. Today, we're dismantling one of the most persistent myths in self-improvement, the idea that discipline alone is the gateway to lasting change. What behavioral science and ancient philosophy both reveal is something far more foundational: your identity. The research is clear. According to studies from the American Psychological Association, attempts at change that focus solely on behavior modification typically last less than 66 days before reverting. Yet identity-based transformations show remarkably different results. As James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, discovered through extensive research, the key to building lasting habits is focusing on creating a new identity first. Let's fly through the process. Number 1, the illusion of discipline. Let's talk about the concept of discipline. As commonly understood, discipline represents a constant battle against ourselves. It suggests that change requires perpetual self-control and willpower depletion. This framing transforms personal development into an endless war against our own nature. Research from the University of Stanford has demonstrated that willpower functions like a muscle that fatigues with repeated use. This biological reality means strategies based purely on self-control are destined to fail when we face stress, fatigue, or disruption to our routines. Consider the experience of professional athletes. They don't wake up daily questioning whether they'll train. The elite marathon runner doesn't wage an internal battle about whether to run. Running is simply an expression of who they are. Their actions flow naturally from their identity as an athlete. The entrepreneur who built a successful business didn't simply force themselves to work when unmotivated. Their work emerged from a deeper self-concept. I am a creator, an innovator, a problem solver. Actions aligned with identity require dramatically less willpower than those that conflict with it. Number 2, the identity formation process. Now let's explore the identity formation process. Identity formation operates through a feedback loop of belief and behavior. Every action we take is a vote for the type of person we believe ourselves to be. These small votes accumulate into our self-concept, which then drives future behavior. The neurological basis for this lies in neural pathway formation. When we repeatedly perform actions aligned with a particular identity, we strengthen the neural connections associated with that behavior pattern. Eventually, these pathways become the path of least resistance for our brain. The Stoics understood this principle centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Such as are your habitual thoughts, such also will be the character of your mind, for the soul is dyed by the thoughts." The Stoic practice of daily reflection served to reinforce identity and align actions with core values. This process works in both directions. A person who thinks of themselves as unhealthy will find it extraordinarily difficult to maintain healthy habits. Their actions feel incongruent with their self-concept, creating internal resistance. Conversely, someone who has internalized an identity as a health-conscious individual will naturally gravitate toward choices that reinforce this self-image. Number 3, strategic identity shifts. Let's delve into strategic identity shifts. Intentional identity change begins with language. The shift from "I'm trying to quit smoking" to "I'm not a smoker" represents a profound psychological transformation. The former frames change as an ongoing struggle. The latter establishes it as a completed reality. Research from the University of California found that people who frame goals in identity-based terms demonstrate 61% higher success rates than those who focus solely on outcome-based objectives. This linguistic reframing creates immediate cognitive alignment rather than projecting change into some distant future. The implementation requires small, strategic proof points. When someone begins to think of themselves as a writer, writing 50 words daily matters more than attempting a novel once a year. These small, consistent actions provide evidence to the subconscious mind that the new identity is valid and real. Social reinforcement accelerates this process. Environments that reflect and support our desired identity dramatically increase success rates. The Recovery Research Institute found that individuals in substance recovery programs who developed a recovery identity and associated with others who reinforced this identity showed an 83% higher long-term sobriety rate than those focusing solely on avoiding relapse behaviors. Number 4, integration of multiple identities. Our identity is not monolithic, but rather a constellation of self-concepts that activate in different contexts. Understanding this multiplicity allows for more sophisticated personal development strategies. Psychological research into identity salience demonstrates that we possess hierarchies of identities that become dominant in different situations. The key is ensuring our most important identities remain accessible across varied contexts. Value-based identities prove particularly resilient. When change is anchored in core values rather than specific behaviors, it demonstrates remarkable flexibility. A person who identifies as someone who prioritizes health can adapt their specific actions across changing circumstances, while maintaining alignment with their core identity. This integration process requires periodic reflection and realignment. The Japanese concept of ikigai, finding the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be compensated for, provides a useful framework for identity coherence across personal and professional domains. The compounding effect of identity-aligned behavior creates exponential rather than linear growth. As Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck's research on growth mindset demonstrates, people who identify as learners and see challenges as opportunities for development consistently outperform those with fixed self-concepts, even when starting with similar baseline abilities. The paradigm shift from discipline to identity transforms personal development from a perpetual uphill battle into a natural expression of who we are becoming. When actions align with identity, resistance dissolves and consistency emerges organically. The evidence is compelling. From neuroscience to behavioral psychology to ancient philosophy, diverse fields of study converge on this fundamental truth. Lasting change flows from identity alignment rather than perpetual self-control. This perspective liberates us from the shame cycle associated with failed discipline. It reframes the conversation around personal growth from deficiency-based thinking to identity emergence. We move from forcing ourselves to do what's right to expressing who we truly are. As we close, consider this question: who are you becoming? Not what habits are you trying to force, but what identity are you cultivating through your daily choices? Your answers will shape far more than your behaviors. They will determine the very essence of your life experience. If you found value in this exploration of identity-based change, subscribe for more evidence-based perspectives on personal development. Share your thoughts in the comments about how identity has shaped your own growth journey. Until next time, remember that true transformation begins with who you believe yourself to be.